from coaches that sometimes after a night like this, they just burn the tape, so to speak. Can't really get anything from it on to the next one. What's your thought on this? Is there something you can gain from this, or is it just fully flush it and go?
I mean, you could definitely take some things from it, but at the same time, I thought Dallas played great. Give a lot of credit to them. You know, all of their guys, whoever went in, well balanced. Thought they played with a ton of energy and physicality, and you know, you got to give them that. And they're a great team, and that's the Dallas. That's the reason why they're here, is when when they play like that. So, but you can definitely take some stuff from it.
Dan, second row in the center.
Dan Devine, Yahoo Sports. Coach, 26 points in the paint, I believe, is a season low for you guys. 3 for 16 on non-rim paint shots. What did you see from the process in terms of getting into the paint, the finishing there? What was sort of giving you guys a problem with that tonight?
They did a great job flying around, making us indecision on whether to shoot it, drive it, and then there are multiple efforts, and thought their 5 men did a great job protecting the paint. And every time we went in for a layup, they had multiple guys contesting. So I thought they just did a great job flying around on defensive end.
Gary, fourth row.
Yeah, Joe, Gary Washington, Boston Globe. Was effort an issue at all? And when did you see that you guys just didn't have it? Because it seemed like no one across the board played well. I
mean, I don't know. Always in situations like this, it always goes back to us. But you got to give Dallas credit. They played well. They played really, really well. And that's the reason why that they're in this, is because when they play like that. So I thought they just outplayed us.
Jared on the right.
Jared Weiss, The Athletic. We've talked a lot about the metaphor of like the chokehold in UFC fighting and trying to make sure that you finish the submission. Now that you guys were literally in that position, like actual title on the line, chance to finish it out, it didn't work. Why do you think all that preparation didn't work in this moment, and how did you guys try to work through going back to your principles there?
Yeah, I mean, I think just preparation doesn't guarantee an automatic success, and so I thought we had a great process. I thought we had a great shoot around. I thought we had a great film session yesterday. I thought the guys came out with the right intentions, and I just didn't think it went our way, and I thought Dallas outplayed us. I thought they just played harder. So you have to prepare to put yourself in the best possible position, but it doesn't guarantee anything. And so at the end of the day, we got to just maintain our process and get ready for Game 5.
Fourth row on your left.
Hey, Joe. In the first half particularly, they really got after you guys in the offensive glass with Flyable there. What led to those breakdowns in your mind, and how do you clean that up going forward here?
Yeah, anytime there's 2-on-1s and little indecisions, they do a great job cutting behind you and kind of wedging under and get them, and I thought Lively was great in that. And yeah, we had 26 misses in the first half and only 2 offensive rebounds, and they had more. So we got to be better on our defensive rebounding, and then we got to be better getting more offensive rebounds when we miss.
Chris, second row on your left.
Joe, what were the biggest things you learned tonight? You mentioned there were some things that jumped out at you about your group, and what do you think you've learned in terms of closing out the Mavericks the next?
Yeah, listen, I learned that Dallas is a great team, and you're going to have to earn it. And there's a lot of stuff that we can control, so we'll go back on the film and we'll watch that, and we'll really try to be disciplined to control it.
Gary in the middle.
Joe, you said Dallas played harder. Does that bother you that they played harder than you guys did? Was that just a matter of their desperation, or why in a closeout game, you guys have been preaching, like, act like you're down 0-3, would you guys not play as hard as you could?
I don't know. I thought Dallas played really hard. I more said it because you have to give them credit. It's not about us. It's about our opponent and having the respect for them. And you have to give them credit for how well they played. And that's the most important thing. So it's less about us and more about how they played. And they played well. They played hard. And, we have to be more disciplined in how we defend and attack them.
Steve, last question up front.
Steve Buckley from The Athletic. You've been asked a couple of times about your team's effort, and you keep going back to how well Dallas played. So how was your team's effort?
It wasn't as good as Dallas's was. I thought theirs was a lot better.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, back outside here, Tom Giles, Eddie, Scal. Joe Mazzulla said a couple of things there a few different times, but he brought up the indecision from the Celtics that you saw in that game was caused by Dallas flying around defensively. How do you asked about, kind of adjustments or reactions, whatever you want to call that, but what did you see in terms of that, the way that the indecision was just caused by whatever Dallas was doing, and it was different from what we saw earlier in the series?
Well, I thought we had a lot of matchup hunting, so everybody was standing still. Dallas had the ability to just stare at whatever was going on, whoever was getting that matchup. And then from there, you had another guy in the gap. So everybody was keyed in on if it was Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, whoever it was up top. if it was Drew Holiday, it was almost like the floor was shrunk, and there weren't many gaps. They were active. I'll give Dallas their credit. They came out active. Were running around, flying around, getting deflections. They were getting to the 50-50 balls. They played with a little bit more sense of urgency. But the adjustment would be, I'm not trying to get my ISOs up top. I would start getting my ISOs on the side. If I want to ISO, I want on the side, because then the double has to come from, you're going to put them in rotation. Otherwise, he's going to have an opportunity to go one-on-one. They never really come from the bottom. So Jason Tatum, if you want to get your ISO and you get Kyrie, that matchup you want, get it on the side, work yourself, and you could shoot the turnaround jumper, or just big body him and get to the basket, or make a play. I think that's an adjustment and a wrinkle that you could put in. I figured Dallas was going to come out like that. If we wanted to play that high matchup picker, everybody was going to lean and everybody was going to shrink the floor.
Yeah, we took a second dribble when there were some plays where, and like, folks, it's not every time. It's just when you're watching the game, it's like, how are they trending? So instead of it being one dribble off the ball, they're taking one dribble, second dribble, and then all of a sudden, ooh, try past it, and then Dallas is already building out at that point. So to me, it was just like the ball stuck a little bit. If you went and watched the game three, third quarter, you saw how quick the ball moved around. You watch this game, there was some indecisiveness about getting off the ball. I don't think they were selfish. They were just not making the same read that they made in game three.
Okay. Joe also said that, Dallas did play harder, but I didn't get the sense that he was worried necessarily about the,
You don't want to get worried right now. You don't want to do that.
No. What kind of sense did you get from him then?
That, like, okay, this is what I would do, right? All right, what did we do well in game three? What did we do well in 1, 2, and 3? Let's put all that together. Let's show them, and let's start, like, gassing up, and let's, what Eddie would say, you just flush it down the toilet. You can admit what went wrong. We were indecisive. We weren't playing as hard. We weren't as physical, but you don't have to drive that point home.
No.
You just got to focus on the positives, and, like, start getting it into their minds, like, in game 5, this is what we're going to do.
On the plane ride, if I was doing it, on the plane ride, I would say, hey, if they able to break down the clips, I would show the offensive rebounds. I'm not trying to shove it down the throat that we got blew out. I'm not trying to do that. But I do have to address the fact that that was an effort play, a 50-50 ball, and just a small clip, 5 minutes of it. And then, like you said, then I'm going to put together everything that we did well, and also clips of when we did those things well, to say this is how we win, and this is how we didn't win. So this is our controllables right here, guys.
Hey, Tom, I've never seen you mad ever. So what gets you mad?
What gets me mad?
Have you ever been mad before?
Yeah, I get mad. Sure.
Give me like an example.
I don't know, like a PA guy, like screaming, "Let's go, Mavs!" How about that?
So, like, right before you're about to do something, right? If we just play that PA guy, and it's not driving it home.
You don't need to.
No, it's not driving it home where you're like down and out in blue. It's just like, you're right, man. I didn't do that. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you start thinking like, no, I'm not going to let that happen again. I'm not going to let that PA guy keep yelling, right? And it just gets you like, we're talking the smallest 1% more. It's a difference.